Hello, I'm Glenn Phillips with Lake Homes Realty and lakehomes.com. If you're thinking about selling your lake home or you're getting ready to sell it quickly, you want to know what the market's doing because that sort of helps you set the price you can get for your home, and you naturally want to maximize that, and the market tells us those things. Interestingly, the pandemic, COVID-19, has broken the economic and the real estate housing algorithms. They were built on a certain type of predictability of the economy that was based on very known factors that are they're all in the trash. In fact, anyone who tells you what the housing market's going to be in 2021, they're making it up. They're pulling it out of their backside. What you need to know, though, is there's still some predictability based on some knowns in a more short term. So today, I want to talk to you about 5 ways that we're looking at the fall housing market for lake real estate, and it can apply also to general housing as well, so it could be helpful to if you're in that market as well, that we're using this information of how we're modeling our business and to help our agents and to help our clients as we look into the fall, while we do have some knowns, and here's those things. So one of the things that we're paying attention right now is that there's a bit of an artificial economy. There's been a lot of government stimulus. There's been checks to individuals. There's been additional unemployment. There's been PPP money to businesses. There's been deferments of mortgages and rents. And this has been important. It's been valuable to keep the economy going, to buy us time to figure out what this new economy is going to look like, the transition, what businesses make it and don't. But it's artificial. Our expectation, though, is that this will be extended probably to get us through to the election with more of many of the same types of stimulus. But after that, it's probably unlikely that there'll be more of that type of stimulus. So we have an artificial economy that is going to hold through the fall like it has the summer, of certain types of money and businesses working through this uncomfortable time. So not as much change. Demand. In the lake real estate market, there is crazy demand across the country. Lakehomes.com has more than doubled its website traffic in the month of July compared to last year. And we already have millions of people visit our website. People want this space, this home that's got some space around it where you can still do recreation and you can feel safe and more comfortable. So there's just crazy demand. Some of our agents have said, we're in a bit of a feeding frenzy. However, there's a counter to that, and that is inventory. Even before we ran into this pandemic, there was a housing shortage of appropriately priced lake homes. Now, we have tens of thousands of lake properties for sale on lakehomes.com, but these properties may not be priced in the type of home that's going to move quickly. Will the market move up and increase price to meet those demands by those sellers? A little bit, but there's a reason that we're not just going to see this huge bubble even where there's competition, and that is that we've got a fear of uncertainty. The consumer knows that there's uncertain economic times and they're willing to pay, but they're not going to crazy pay. The feeding frenzy has still got some conservative nature to it. And that's affected the buyer and seller dynamic. So there are a lot of people shopping, but most of them have no interest in paying foolish prices that once the economy, if it slows, if the housing peak slows, they'll feel they've gotten in a home they've overpaid for. And then there's some economic cliffs coming that we're planning. As I mentioned, we think stimulus will run through much of the fall, but that runs out. PPP money stops. Additional stimulus money stops. The foreclosure and deferments, those things that were being held back, those stop. And those may not show up all at once, but as those happen, it's going to uncover what our real economy is, not the artificial economy. We're expecting much of this to start to appear in December, maybe as early as November after the election, but into the first quarter of next year. And we don't know what's going to happen. It's an unknown, unknowable because there's no model for it. So what does this mean if you're thinking of buying or selling? So if you're thinking of buying a home, you need to be aware that there's a lot of competition for these homes. You need to move quick. You need to understand what you're willing to compromise on. If you really have your heart set on getting that lake home, realize that you're not going to get your absolute perfect dream home necessarily at the price you want. There's going to be some give and take in either price or what you want. And you've got to move fast. If your agent says it's time, that house will disappear if it's priced appropriately. Now, if you're selling your home, it's our belief that this is essentially sort of the peak prices. Maybe they'll bubble up in certain markets, but once we hit some period of time of economic uncertainty, we expect a decline to take place just because of the damage to the economy. Now, that's unknowable when that's going to happen. I'm not going to predict that, but it does say if you want to get the most for your home, we're at a really good time that probably won't get much better. If you're thinking about buying or selling a lake home, of course, we are the nation's specialist at this. Our agents in each market are the expert of their lake market and the unusual nature of lake homes that are different from other properties. You can go on lakehomes.com and see tens of thousands of homes for sale, including new listings that are showing up every day, as well as we've got tips and videos. So be sure to visit us. I hope this has been helpful. Have a great day. For more information, be sure to check out lakehomes.com.